Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on the fourth episode of the Glow Up Ascending in My Twenties podcast. In today's episode, I'll be talking about Black women's mental health with one of my friends. Her name is Daijon. For those of you who do not already know, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Hee hee. So, so before we even get started, Daijon and I will briefly talk about how we met each other. Do you want to go first?
I do I even remember? So we definitely met via Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Just regular iPost. She found me. I don't know how because she doesn't even have a fan page herself.
Stalker.
No. So I was just posting whatever. I too am a huge MJ fan, and I branched out. Like I was never really. I wouldn't say I was the years prior to like 2016 that I was like a loud MJ fan. Like I was over on Twitter and I loved those girls. There's like a good handful of like black MJ stans who were they were so hilarious, and like I loved their sisterhood.
Yeah.
And how funny they were. And they're still on there to this day being funny as hell about MJ, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I want that for me. But I couldn't find it on Twitter. Like Twitter it was way too popping.
Yeah.
On Stan Twitter back in those days, so it was hard to branch out if you weren't like super duper funny and like unique. And I've always had like, if people are louder than me, like I don't feel like being loud, you know? Like it's probably a bad habit, but I just sit back. So I didn't feel like bursting into their bubble. I did try, but it wasn't happening. So I had moved over to Instagram, and I was posting about whatever, but then I started posting mostly about Paris and Prince. It was mostly about Paris, but I also started posting about Prince, and then
Those are his kids, if you guys don't know.
yes, and you could imagine the time, because it's like only a handful of years after, like maybe a year or two. I started in 2016, and it's maybe a year or two after Paris like kind of came back into the spotlight a little bit, like more into the public spotlight. And like I don't know, it was crazy fun times. Like, but I was mostly talking to myself for a while, and I just started making edits, like these like tie-dye edits and stuff like that. And there was only like one or two other stands who were doing it at the time, so it was just a handful of us. And actually, I'm skipping the more important part, which is how you did probably find me.
Mm-hmm.
I was ranting.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I was ranting, and because people would not leave that young lady alone, and I was just like, it just felt like everybody was lacking brain cells. Like, if you think people are lacking brain cells now, child,
Back then, it's crazy.
they needed all types of lobotomies, all types. Like, they were, oh gosh, it was horrible. Like, wishing, like, actual death and horrible things on, like, how old was she?
At the time, because we're the same age.
Yeah.
What, you said 2016?
Yeah. Like, she wasn't even 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, she was, like, 16, 17. Like, it was weird. And it only got weirder the year after that. So, 2017 was my prime.
Yeah. That's when we met.
Yes.
Yeah. So same thing, literally you said. I was just watching your posts and stuff. And you were personal too. That's the other thing I really liked. You were very vulnerable even about what was going on in your own life.
Yeah, which is so crazy because now anything vulnerable that I post there, because like I do miss the way it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You used to be able to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Now you are vulnerable. People, okay, you could tweet, I had chicken wings for lunch, and like people would talk to you about it.
Yeah.
You could post, man, I feel like dying. No, there's like one person who will
Oh my
put
God.
like a sad face emoji.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, no, like Instagram now is not what it used to be at all. Like you could be vulnerable, you could be funny, you could say whatever, and there would be people ready to like bounce off your vibe.
Yeah.
And that made it like a lot easier to do what I was doing, because it's like, yeah, I'm not alone in my thoughts. So,
You are not alone.
you found it.
Oh yeah.
Because it was a lot easier when Paris would like things with the structure of Instagram back in the days. It was much easier for people to look and like easier to find the tags, easier for things to pop up on like your Explore or whatever, and for you to find content you actually liked and related to. Now it's not so easy, but you know,
c'est la vie.
yeah. So I'm sure that's how you found me, and that's how I found a lot of the people that I still talk to today, like via the ranting, surely. Because at that time it certainly was not the edits.
No, the edits are good, guys. She very much downplays herself. She's extremely, extremely creative. Like you gotta go to her page. I'll let her plug it at the end if she's comfortable, because I know that she is shy. But she is extremely creative. Like the things that she comes up with, you really gotta have like a great imagination. It's not like anyone that comes out with these type of things out of nowhere. You're very divinely gifted. You just downplay yourself too much.
I agree. But back in those days, like it was, like I said it in a caption a few days ago, like Pixar in a dream, because it was not like for the time it was like, ooh, this is fun, this is cute, but the things that I learned to do after, they definitely were not within my skill set in 2017.
All right, girl, if you say so.
I say so. So like yeah, ranting stopped being my thing eventually, and then I was doing the edits. But I don't feel like people like yes, people love the edits, but I think it was more the personality I would say that people like. But it got progressively hard to do that.
Maintain it. I think that actually is a great segue into our main topic today, which we kind of already talked about when you brought up Paris and just how people can be very unkind and how that can lead you to have feelings and ideas that will kind of drive you into a dark place. And in the 5th chapter of my memoir, I actually really wanted to touch on the mental health topic, particularly within the Black community, but also with children. And I know this is something that you've related to as well. I know for myself growing up, I was a very, very shy child, something that I didn't even quite understand myself. And it greatly inhibited me from vocalizing my wants and my needs at times. Without knowing or being guided on how to properly or healthily express myself, oftentimes I felt very misunderstood and unnoticed a lot in my household. And you guys actually will hear this pain if, again, you have not read my book yet. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Indigo. But as usual, I'll read a brief part of the passage that I think would resonate the most with you guys without being too explicit. So yeah, get ready to hear that. I continued to search for answers, and the word family came up. I almost felt as if I didn't belong in the family I was born into, as if I were merely there. Who did I relate to? No one. Who saw me? No one. The realization that I was unnoticed cut like a knife. Seeing the undisguised disinterest towards me from the majority of my family over the years had ushered me to this dark place, and the fact that no one saw my unhappiness confirmed to me of how overlooked I was. If anyone cared, they would have noticed. But maybe if I was gone, I would finally be noticed and possibly even missed. So now that I've read that passage, I'm going to turn this over to my friend Daijon and ask her, how did it make you feel to read that? I know that you read this before, independently of us doing this today, but how does it make you feel reading and hearing like a little Black girl talk about her feelings of being unnoticed when it's something that's like something or a feeling actually that's so prevalent within our community, especially with Black girls and women?
It's sad because it's very generational. I think very. It's like, what do we do to stop the young Black woman from feeling from the get go, not valued and not seen? It's like, how can you be invisible from like birth, or like 5 years old, 10 years old? You know what I mean? And it's like, I've definitely gone through those kinds of things. I would say, because I'm the youngest, so I feel like in just I'm the youngest, I'm young, I'm black. Like there's so many like points in time where it's like, yeah, you feel invisible from your family, from your peers, from just every like direction, because it's like you're at home and you know you're not the oldest who's favored, you know, you're not the boy who's obviously has, like in my family, like my mom's kids, my brother is the only boy. So, you know, there's favoritism for that.
Yeah.
You're not the gifted middle child, you know, you're the youngest. And my siblings would say that I have experienced favoritism because of that, but I don't think it's favoritism. I think it's very much, you know, you're here, you're one of my children, obviously I love you, and that's kind of always the sentiment I've got. But and because all of my siblings are older, you know what I mean, it's very much been, I felt like, a battle. Like, okay, growing up, I'll say from my perspective, growing up, I felt like it was a battle to be seen, like I was fighting for my life.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you have the child, the oldest, who's doing whatever the hell that they want to do, and you know, it's like parents' attention is on them because some of the things that they're doing might not be like favorable or liked. And then, you know, you have the boy who's like, he's a boy, and he's picking on his sisters, and you know, then it's like he's doing football, then it's like, you know, those two have children, and then it's, you know, they just get, naturally they're gonna get that kind of being seen, especially as the two who have been seen the longest. They were here before me and my other sister.
Yeah.
And then with my other sister, you know, she's gifted. Or I would say she was like a gifted child. Like she I felt like was smart. She was doing art, and she was really good at art. And same with my brother. Like he was doing football. He was also doing art, but not like extensively as my other sister. Art was like more like her passion. And you know, like it just, there was, when I was young, because my sister is like 6 years older than me, right? And then my brother is what, maybe 8 or 12, and then 10 maybe. And then my older sister, she's like 12 to 14 years older than me. And
By the way, we didn't say our ages. I know people know I'm 27, but
I'm 20.
okay, so we're speaking about this stuff as like people approaching our 30s but still navigating all this stuff in our 20s as well.
Yes. It was, I would say it was very hard. Like I always felt like I had to prove myself because like I was, the accolades that they would get I would never get, or I felt like the support that they would get I would never get, and I didn't feel like I got the guidance or that that they could give to the others. I feel like I wasn't able to get.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I felt like I was always doing things, or not always doing things. I was a very calm child, okay? But I was also very much by myself, very isolated. I only ever really hung out with the middle child, my sister, who's a bit older than me. You know, it's like when I was at home, like it would just be me and her. But she also had her friends, and so while she could see her friends, like hang out with them after school and all those things, I did not have that luxury.
Yeah.
So it was literally just me and her and whatever I had going on at school. But, and looking back, some things could have been my fault, the way I approached them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure the teachers thought that I was like malnourished, didn't get any love at home. That was just because it's like, you know, I felt underdeveloped in a way.
Yeah.
Like after the divorce and stuff, you know, like all I can remember is just me and my mom and my siblings, and you know, my dad on the weekends. And but it's like I very much only remember the separate home, whereas my siblings remember the two-parent home where they were getting two-parent love.
Ooh, that's a good point. Because a lot changes when you go from that two-parent home and to that one. Because the parent, at some point, not that it's right, but again, as I've told you, even like within my Mama Wound chapter, we do have to learn to give our parents grace. At some point, they do get tapped out, and there's only so much that they can offer us, right? Or else their cup becomes extremely empty. You know what I mean?
And I feel like um, to a degree or two, my mom's cup was empty because, and it's like, they're divorcees navigating separate households, and it wasn't too bad. Like, I had fond memories, but I feel like in hindsight, my mom did not have, with her working her full-time jobs or two full-time jobs, I don't feel like she had anything that much to give when she was home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she is one of those people who's like she's not that affectionate. Like, she's way more like affectionate now because I can force her to be affectionate. Like, like.
It's so funny. No, it's a reality for me too. Yeah.
I gotta walk up and hug you. Why are you hugging me?
Yeah.
Not that like she won't do it. It's not like she doesn't have the capacity. It's just that's not what she was shown.
Yeah.
Like, especially these Caribbean people, man, these Jamaicans, hard asses. They don't believe in affection like that.
You know me love you, but that's it. Like,
I put food on the table. I put clothes on your back. How do you not know I love you, girl? Have you ever told me you love me?
Oh man.
And it's like, even in my old age, like, I feel like I'm always asking my mom questions where I'm like, have you ever felt like I have a special gift?
Yeah.
Like, I'm always like randomly like popping up and asking her questions like that. Like, it's really, did you see me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, at any point in life, have you seen what I had to offer? Did you recognize that? Like,
Validation. Yeah.
Like, I even remember when my brother had his first baby. He was like really nice, just like overly nice, like, cause like he was over the moon.
Yeah.
And I swear, I feel like that is like the one time back in those days that he like had said I love you, because he was just over the moon. And I think I had said I love you to him, and he had said it back, and I was like, oh my god, love in the household.
It feels so good.
Yeah, like, it's like you have to. It's like, I don't know, man.
It's important to say those things to people. I think sometimes, like, as we journey through life, we just kind of forget it. We just assume that person feels the love we have for them. But the actual words itself are so important. And
it matters.
Mm-hmm.
And it matters that you acknowledge your people.
Yeah.
Especially like your young people, your young women. Because then if I was like any, I would say, rowdier of a child, or if I wasn't like shy and like an anxious scaredy cat,
Me too, yeah.
I could have turned to the streets.
Yeah.
And not in like I'm dealing drugs, but it's like I could have found me some friggin' bugaboo
to give me that validation. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I love you, and yeah, I see you, but I'm also gonna take advantage of you. Shit like that.
Yeah.
Not that that's necessarily what would have happened, but like if I was like reckless.
It's a reality for like a lot of people, yeah.
Because it's like you're just willing to go where the love is at. It doesn't necessarily need to be good love.
It's something. You're craving something,
it's
yeah.
Like what I didn't get at home kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully for me, I am a scared cat.
Me and you both.
even in my old adulthood.
No, it's making me laugh. People are gonna be like, old. You guys are all literally in your late 20s, please.
But like, I feel old since the pandemic, man. Or not even since the pandemic. I think since I turned 25.
Yeah.
I've just felt the aches and the pains, the creaks of adulthood suddenly creeping in.
Mm-hmm. Slowly.
I think I was even writing a Substack yesterday or the day before, and I was mentioning like, because I found a whole bunch of old photos from when I was in high school that I thought I like lost, and it filled in so many gaps. But I was like, my God, my God, today she is so bright. She was confident. She was wearing what the hell ever. And comparing that to me now, I was like, I feel old. Like I feel geriatric, like beyond, like I'm out of my prime. I don't even think I've hit my prime yet in reality.
Oh, I love that.
But when I look at that, I'm like, wow. She was so confident. She had the world in her hands. Like because at that time, like I wanted to be a model for like a handful of years. I wanted to be a model, and I was so serious and passionate about it. Like quite literally the reason why I went to school for fashion. I was just
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I was so serious about it. Like the fashion industry, I was so serious. I was all up in their business. Like now I probably couldn't tell you anything. But like I was so serious. And so I was like, I have to be confident. Like to be a runway model. I want to be a runway model. I was like, I have to be confident to be a runway model.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to, be comfortable wearing like maybe more clothes or less clothes. And I have to do this and I have to that. So I was like always very, about my walk and about my confidence and this and that. Now I was still shy. So like in the back of my mind, I feel like I always knew that I probably wouldn't be doing that. But like I was so passionate about it. I loved it. But it's like, and that's also an industry where you can be taken advantage of, especially black models.
Also, like the validation too, because you're constantly rejected in that industry.
Yeah, and it's like I'm glad I didn't go there.
God was protecting you.
I know, and it gets to a point, where you're just like, oh my gosh, young black woman, I wish I could have protected you. Like, oh my gosh, and no, and that's how I always. Anytime I look back, I'm like, that's how I always feel. I'm like, oh, my queen, I love you. You are holding it together.
Trust me.
Now I'll let everything fall apart and I'll crash out. But like back then, like I was like, I so believed in the ideas and things that I was telling myself. Like we literally started this talking about how shy I am and how like I don't believe in I don't believe in promoting myself, but I get too scared to promote myself. Like I just feel like it's too many eyes, and like it just leads back to being shy. But it's like, my younger self, she would love to be heard right now.
Isn't that interesting though? Because it's like you want to be seen, like that little girl within you still exists. She wants to be seen, but at the same time, you're still so scared of being seen.
Yes.
It's so weird.
It's too perceived, like I'm too far gone in, like I still want the love, I still want the validation, but, and I think it's also a matter of, back in those days, I think I personally felt, and I'm sure a lot of black girls felt, it's like no matter what you do, you're not necessarily good enough.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was going so hard. I was always like, maybe my runway walk wouldn't be good enough. Like, maybe, like, I was always practicing poses. I was like, maybe my poses gotta go harder, man.
So that explains why you pose so well when you take pictures and stuff. Because this girl literally always knows the perfect pose, and I'm out here as stiff as a rock, and I'm like, how does she know how to do this? She's so fluid. I'm trying to learn her ways. This makes sense.
I feel like I'm horrible at, like,
No.
stuff, but, like,
Not at all.
It would. I was always posing, always in the mirror. I was always watching those top model shows, like America's Next Top Model.
You want to be on top?
Low-key, Tyra Banks, that's another conversation.
That's another conversation. And even Naomi on that other show that came after, they let you know. Sorry, like I get it's the modeling industry, and they have sold you that it's hard, and that, not everybody's gonna make it, and all of these things. But it's like, you should be, like, they're preparing you for a cutthroat industry. I've had teachers like that who said, when you go out into the real world, but it's also, what you need to be preaching is the confidence to go out into the real world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, you're trying to break me down so I can build confidence. What about building the confidence, like, regardless? Like, what if I'm already confident? Because, like, in those shows, those girls, some of them were very confident, and they would be like, no. You think that's going to get you through?
Yeah.
You think you're going to... And it's like, okay.
They repeated the same cycle.
Yeah.
I don't think that was their intention, but because they wanted to prepare them for it, but it was like, you guys could have also... I feel like they could have done it in a healthier way. You can still prepare, but ensure that the confidence is still there.
They didn't give them any proper tools, I feel like. Yeah. Like, how do I deal with somebody who, like a designer or a photographer or, a makeup artist or this or whoever, what do I do if they're bullying me? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like like black girls, they teach them to be submissive, and you got to keep your head down. You just got to do the work. When I was I was keeping my head down. I was doing the work, and look at where it got me. It's like teaching folks who want to do their thing in these industries to shut up, be a slave, and you eventually will come out on the other side, like me.
The very thing we're trying to run away from is the very thing we end up becoming.
Exactly.
Quiet, not using our voices, not talking about our wants and our needs. And
Yeah.
Down the line, we repeat the same cycle, even though we express how much that hurt us. It's just very funny.
It's very funny. And in these industries, that's all they preach. And especially, I feel like over the years, like anytime a young black, in some industry, like creative industry, they're always getting flack for speaking out. And people are telling them, well, you shouldn't have been in that space anyway, or
Be grateful.
Yeah, be grateful. And then say someone else, like a young white girl in the same space, if they say something or they speak up on behalf of the black, I'll say the black model or the black artist, then it's like they're brave for using their privilege to speak out. And it's like there's just so much reinforcement, like I said earlier, like in any direction, so much reinforcement that the young black girl's voice doesn't mean anything, and she needs like all these other people to come in and protect her. And it's like, why don't we just value the young black voice already?
Exactly, yeah.
It's like it reinforces that, okay, I don't see you, but I see the other person.
Oof, that was deep.
Right?
So Ms. Daijon,
It's how it goes, man.
What is one, or I should say, let's say, maybe the biggest piece of advice you would give that younger girl, if you were looking at her, or even the younger girl that exists within you? Because truth be told, that young child, whether it's a boy or a girl, it always exists within you. What would you tell them?
I would, because I feel like I'm dealing with this week.
Trust me.
Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And like support yourself. And it's not like monetarily or anything, but like when you are doing things, or even when you're chilling, like people try to play you, and they try to play in your face like all of the time. And when you are seeking validation because you never got it, you start letting them play in your face in a way, or you start, like for me, when I was that young girl who actually like stood up for herself. Not that I don't stand up for myself now, but like I was very, like, it didn't matter who was approaching me. Like I to a degree uh was like going to bat for myself, but eventually like that was broken down because it was seen as like me being mean or me being aggressive. And I obviously I reject that notion. I don't think I'm aggressive. I think I'm firm. But as that young girl, it's like it killed it in me, to where it's like for so many years, like I was just kind of letting shit slide, because it's like I don't know if people think I'm super strong or I'm the party that knows better, so they're gonna talk to the party that doesn't know better. I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like I want the support and I want the love, but people don't do that even when they think they mean well. They cannot give you that. And it's like, am I supposed to spend my whole life seeking it out and waiting for you to come to my aid? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I would tell her, like, she continue to be that. Don't, when the people come, don't let them like knock down your door. Stand firm behind that, because it matters. Like, your voice matters. Your thoughts matter. All of those things that you think are like passive aggressive, or people like tearing you down, or people like shading you, or talking about you thinking that you don't notice, or trying to put labels on you, I would say, like, the most, uh you have to reject that. Don't end up silently believing it, because I think with the repetition, I've silently started believing things about myself that I never would have, like, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's like 10 years ago, I might have understood more about myself and my beliefs than I would say I would end up doing like over the years, like 5 years ago or so, like, like, because you eventually you get broken down, you know, despite popular belief, friends, like black women, we do have limits, and when people are constantly trying to push a narrative on you, they're telling you you're mean, you're too confident, all of these things, it's like, and a lot of it comes from family, and they don't even, it's like they don't even notice that they're doing it. Like, it's just second nature to treat you like you're kind of like nobody, or just somebody off the street.
Cause not dig you up at the I don't know what that is. Like,
no.
Like I want my child or my niece or my nephew to remain humble, but a level of confidence that you need to instill in the young girl, the young boy, because without it, then that's where you start seeking that validation out of yourself, even if you don't realize.
No, because listen, I get on my nieces and my nephews' cases all the time, because there are certain things that your family telling you that, it's like you gotta listen to them. You don't have to do that. And I'm speaking as somebody who was in your position not long ago. But I always have to tell them, because they have already, like, I have so many nieces, and they have already started to display some of those things where it's like they're seeking that validation outside. And I always have to flip the script on them. Like, when my nieces ask me and they're like, what do you think of my drawing? I'm like, what do you think of your drawing?
Period.
It doesn't matter what, I always tell them, it doesn't matter what I think. It's not my drawing. I don't gotta go home with it. Now, I might, because they always give them to me. But but it's like, you gotta love your art. Yeah. It's like, what do you think of your assignment? What do you think of, your outfit? It does not matter what I think. Yeah. It barely even matters what your mama thinks. No offense.
It's true. It's between you and God.
Yeah.
Not like an arrogant way, but there's just certain things where you gotta just follow your own compass.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't want them to, like, end up like me, where they're scared to, like, they're doing something big, and they're scared to talk about it, they're scared to promote it, they're scared to do, like, support their own work. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you're on your press tour, you've been doing your book tours, and that takes a lot of strength and courage. And because it's like, you don't know who's going to show up day to day. Are you going to be all right if one person shows up, or two people show up, or nobody shows up? You have to have the confidence to get out there and be okay if nobody shows up.
By the way, thank you again for coming to the book event in May.
Thank you. I had fun. Yeah? I love getting outside.
I know, girl.
This small ass town, man.
Trust me. Anyways, guys, the podcast episode is coming to an end. If you're curious, the one thing I would tell the younger version of me, and even all of you guys, is that you are enough. You do enough. You are enough. God made you the way that it did. So just be confident in who you are and learn to validate your own self. That's something I'm learning and working on doing daily. I know it's hard, especially when you grew up a certain way, but day by day, just take it day by day and step by step. Just continue to learn how to validate yourself, just like that little girl or boy within you needed to validate. Don't wait on other people to do it. Do it yourself.
Can I jump in for a second?
Of course. Go ahead, girl.
God gave you those gifts. God gave you those gifts. And you could even not believe in sins, but it's a shame to waste what God gave you. It's a shame.
The preacher is preaching.
Like, no, it's because I have to tell myself every day, you have those gifts. Even if you have to learn everything. Talent doesn't just show up. You can be a bit more inclined than other people, but you still have to show up and do the work. And it is like, for the people who do believe in God, it is a sin, I feel like, to have such greatness lying within yourself and believing everybody but you can do it. Yeah. And you can use the talents that you have to validate yourself, because you just have to look at the proof that's in the pudding. I made this. This came from me. And you have to remember that. All this shit that I'm seeing other people do, and because not to extend the episode, but I have dealt with that, where I'm making stuff, but I'm seeing other people directly inspired by my stuff get the accolades, right? And it's like, sometimes I do wonder. I'm like, is it because they're white and they have easier access in the space? And it's like, how could the things that I make that they're inspired by, because they tell me, you know? And it's like, how could they be getting the accolades? How could they be getting the rewards of my labor in a way? And that can make you forget yourself. And I think that's one thing I do think Black girls have to be careful of. Don't forget yourself just because you have to take the long scenic route.
Yeah.
God did that for you. So when you really get to where you need to go, you're gonna love yourself that much more. You're gonna appreciate your route that much more. Yeah, maybe the route was easy for them, but the character and the reward still comes to you. You know? I just had to.
Remember that episode of The Proud Family when they're at that poetic kind of thing? And then it's bravo.
Yeah. Now you gotta put a word out sometimes.
No, you do. Dude. Okay, we'll end on this note, because again, like I told you, we're he fits. But I won't sing it for too long because we'll probably get in trouble. We may have to, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I think the copyright stuff. But
Yeah.
you are not alone.
I am here with you.
Though you're far away, we're here to help you.
Yeah.
Heal, grow, ascend in your 20s. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Daijon, I'll let you end it off.
Thank you for having me. Everybody buy the book. You should have bought it already. But if you're new here, you already know what it is.
Alright guys, be blessed. Bye.